Hi Year 7, this is our fourth lesson for area, and in this lesson we're going to look at the area of a parallelogram. So far we've learnt about the units of area of a rectangle, area of a square, and area of a triangle. Okay, so let's begin. A parallelogram is an oblique rectangle. So that just means it's like a rectangle, has opposite sides equal and parallel, but it doesn't have four right angles. It's been pushed over. Now it probably doesn't surprise you that I'm going to tell you that those two shapes on the screen have exactly the same area. Okay, we're back in Geometer's Sketchpad and I've constructed a quadrilateral that has opposite sides, parallel and equal, so it is a parallelogram. These two sides are equal and parallel, and these two sides are equal and parallel. And I've used the program to calculate the area of the shape. There it is there. Have a look what happens as I move this line along that dotted line. So it starts off as a rectangle. It's becoming a parallelogram, a really skinny one. The area hasn't changed. Can you see that? So the area of a rectangle and the area of a parallelogram are exactly the same, provided the base length is the same and the perpendicular height is the same. Okay, we're going to do a practical activity. So if you can get two post-it notes, that would be really good. If you can't find post-it notes, just get a sheet of paper and cut it in half, because we basically want two rectangles that are identical in area. So there's my two post-it notes. Now what we're going to do is take a ruler and a pencil and turn one into a parallelogram. So get your ruler and go from one of the vertices and just draw a line straight across to the opposite side like that. So it'll look like this. And I want you to mark both of these as right angles. That will help us with our construction. Then we're going to grab some scissors and cut along that line, like that. Okay, now you're going to take that piece, it was here, and just slide it across so that these right angles meet here. And now we're going to sticky tape that together. And you can see that we've made a parallelogram. So there we are, we've finished. Let's take our two post-it notes, our original one that's in the shape of a rectangle and the new one that we've made into a parallelogram, and we're going to label them. So this one, being a rectangle, has four right angles, and this is the base length and this is the height. And here's our new one, same base length, same perpendicular height. What have we proven? They have the same area. All right, let's recall that the formula for the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. So in this case, it's going to be 2 times 1.5, which is 3 meters squared. So to find the area of a parallelogram, we can use the same formula. It's going to look a little bit different. Instead of saying length times breadth, we're going to use base times height, like we did with the triangles. That's mostly because of the perpendicular height, but they are exactly the same measurement. Let's have a look. Here we've got the length, which is 2 meters. Here we've got the base, which is 2 meters. Here we've got the breadth, which is 1.5 meters. Here we've got the perpendicular height, which is 1.5 meters. See? Same formula, just different words. So it's going to be 2 times 1.5, which is 3 meters squared. All right, let's do some examples. Find the area of this parallelogram. The base is 13. The perpendicular height is 8. Start with the formula, base times height. It's going to be 13 times 8. You can either do that on a piece of paper or you can do it in the calculator. It's going to give us 104 meters squared. Here's our second example. This looks a little bit stranger than the last one because the perpendicular height's been drawn outside the shape, but it still is the perpendicular height. We can see how it is at right angles to the base length. So same formula, and it's going to be base times height, so 6 times 12, which is 72 centimeters squared. Last example, and I've given you a tricky one. So have a look at that there. We've got a parallelogram. We do have a perpendicular height, I can see it, it's 4 centimeters. We've got a length of 6 and a length of 5. Now it has been turned around. Can you imagine turning this back around this way so that this is the base? There's the base length, and here's the perpendicular height. And this one here, that's a slant height. We don't need it at all, so we can cross it out. Okay, now that we've got rid of the extra information that we don't need, let's do the formula. Area is base times height, which is 6 times 4, which is equal to 24 centimetres squared. All right, in summary, the area of a parallelogram is equal to the base times the perpendicular height. Or we could write that as A equals BH. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In our final lesson on area, we're going to look at composite areas.